I've never done before really is some of the challenges that are out there. I very rarely get to be able to do this because once I start back at school, which is going to be very soon, it's really hard for me to participate in any one thing and get it done all the way through. But this is a unique challenge, and I kind of was like, this could be really, really interesting. So the challenge, from what I understand, and it was simple art for adults, and I'll put her information down below. She also has a Facebook, and that's kind of what the challenge is through. Her monthly challenge for August of 2018 is to use the colors of the rainbow only in your picture. And I immediately started thinking of Jade Summer and Chibi Girls and all this stuff, and then I went, oh no, skin tones. So from what I'm understanding, and I'm a little bit confused, and I'll probably email her at some point and kind of say, hey, or wait, I think there's more of an announcement video, or maybe on the Facebook, so maybe you can really explain it to me. My understanding is that you have your rainbow colors. I am under the impression I could probably use any hue of just one yellow, one orange, that type of thing. But I thought I would really take it literally, step way back and get back to when I was really young. And I have this full set of the Crayola colors, the colored pencils. I've been meaning to really use them. I've swatched them all. I've used them on one or two. But I thought that'd be an added challenge because it is rainbow colors. And so when you go out and look, rainbow colors are blue, violet, and then indigo, green, red, orange, and yellow. My issue is that I thought they took indigo out and maybe replaced it with white. I don't know if white is an additional color or if white is is in replace of indigo, and that's what I've kind of got to figure out. But I figure I'm going to be working on some stuff. I can go find that out and kind of clarify it. So when I was looking for a picture, and this one did not print out from my printer very well. This is from Jade Summers. It was one of the PDFs they sent as far as, and I'll put the information from what book this comes from, and probably even put underneath the screen here for you the name of the book, because I can't think what it is. Because this was out of, you know how they kind of group, and if you're signed up with Jade Summers, you get free PDFs all the time. And they do this thing where they'll do their best sellers, and they'll pick 2 pictures from their most recent book. So I think this was from summer 2018 or something like that book. And I thought what I'd do, I know she's a witch, and I know we aren't into October, but I suddenly went, she can be a rainbow witch. And one of the problems is that when we're talking about the rainbow colors, I said, I can't do a person because I can't really make, I mean, I'm not talented enough to make skin tones out of these colors. So I've done a couple things and kind of what we call hamstrung myself, in that I'm kind of holding myself by using Crayola pencils. And I went and looked for the pencils that were exactly the name. So this green, if you look at the color, they say it is green. This one, it says red. This one's orange. This one's yellow. This one is a royal purple, violet, royal purple. They didn't have just a plain purple, which I thought was interesting, and then blue. And then if I do get to use indigo, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if they have one. I'll look. But I said, you know, this is as straightforward as I can get. So I thought I would start coloring her and see what's going to happen. And the first thing I need to do is I want to establish her skin. Now the other thing is I think I can bring in any other mediums as long as they're in these colors. And that's kind of my plan. So I'm going to do really light over everything. So she's going to be green, because witches can be, and one of the most famous ones from Wicked was, as well as a few other ones. But I'm going to start out really, really light because the shading is going to have to come largely from this pencil. So as usual, and the blending with these pencils is not particularly easy. So I'm going to start down here just to kind of get used to the pencils. And my printout, like I said, it has like smudges on it, which is not making me happy. Not making me happy at all. So for those of you that not only watch my coloring videos, but my book videos. I have been trying to get a book video of mine done, and something keeps happening every single time. Either it's out of focus for some reason, it cuts off in the middle of it. So I am going to have to keep trying, but I have read recently some really great books, and I really want to share them with you guys, and I just can't seem to do it. So hair is going to be a challenge unless I can use my markers. I think that can help with some little of the darker indicators of the colors. They did say in this challenge that, you know, if you're good enough and if you have good enough pencils, that you can blend. And so if I did, you know, her suggestion was like if you did, what'd she say, like blue and orange, if you do equal amounts, it will turn into a brown. Well, I've chosen colors or materials that there's no way that's going to happen, because I don't see a lot of really great blending with these Crayolas. However, we're going to have fun and see how it goes. If it's really, really awful, I might have to break out some other materials, but we'll see. So we're going to start off. This is this is as light as I can get. I'm trying not to make lines. I'm doing my little ovals because this is a pencil that really, boy, you barely even see that green, can you? This is a pencil that will show striations. Plus, I also have it on a cardstock, a really lightweight cardstock, which most of my pencils, when they blend really well, do okay on. I think that's going to be another challenge. So I don't know. Maybe this is a total setup to fail. But I saw her and I went, hey. There was two others that I was thinking of doing as well. So we'll see how this goes. But I just thought this could be really fun in a lot of different, you know, of all the rainbow colors. So I got to figure out what all I'm going to do. Some of the things I usually do start with the skin. And you know what I'm thinking? I might go ahead and try to put in some highlights. And I'm going to use the yellow to do that. Ooh, this is going to get really scary really quick. Y'all ready? Alright, so some of this area that wouldn't be darkened, I'm going to come in with just the yellow. So these are Crayolas. They are the colors. You know, if you see it, it's yellow. That's what it's called in the Crayola set. It's a full set. I love the colors themselves, and it's fun doing the watches, but working with them, ooh, that was proven to be a little bit difficult. Now the white that I'm going to use is probably going to be, I'm probably going to bring in the big dog and use the Luminance. Luckily I have a couple whites of those. If I'm going to be able to, you know, do any highlighting with them. This is going to be really, really unusual. I don't think I've ever done anything with a different color skin other than, you know, different tones of typical skin color, skin tones. So I don't know. They have some of the strangest mouths. You know, like, is that just supposed to be teeth, or is that her with her lips closed? But I noticed that with a lot of the Jade Summers I was looking at. One of them I was looking at, was like, she doesn't have lips at all. She almost has, I don't know, like it was an animal mouth of some sort, is what it was reminding me of. It's really strange. Now I'm just doing this yellow, which you can't see. Sorry. I'm doing it so light. I'm just doing this yellow because I'm thinking the yellow under, if I can get the green to go over it, will allow me then to use the green for darker shadows. So I'm hoping this kind of is the lighter color of the skin. And then maybe I can add in shadows. See, there's definitely shadows already up here, so I'm going to bring that yellow up. Now I am going to kind of twist her around because I really don't want the lines. So if I'm going to do any more, coming in a little bit darker, a little bit heavier, I probably want to go in a different direction. And I mean, I already do ovals, but there still is a bit of what I would consider lines that I can see, and I'm trying to go as smooth as I can. And again, I don't know, because I don't know that these are going to layer up. I don't know that I can use Gamsol to blend. I really just don't know what I'm in for with these. But I can see that there's lines being made, so I don't know that you can. I'm doing this so incredibly light, but yet I feel like I have a death grip on the pencil. It's really weird. But this is kind of how I felt when I first started with Prismas, and Prismas now are my go-to. I was going to use the Prismas, and I was like, you know what? I'm not really sure about the colors and if I can do hues and then I kind of was like, and I kind of want to keep it simple, like the process. I don't want to overdo it because I overthink things way too much. And it's not a coloring contest, it's just it's a form of coloring challenge that multiple people are going to be experiencing at the same time, and that's part of the community, the coloring community idea. So I didn't want to sit here and go, I'm not trying to do better. I'm challenging myself. It's a challenge for myself along with, a community that's having a challenge. Whew. Let me go over this. I kind of lost the brightness of this. So colored a little bit too heavy, I think. That eyelid brow, I'd like it to be a little bit. I still want it to be come off as a green color. Now I'm kind of thinking of this all over as a base color that I'm putting on right now, and then maybe try to go in with more shading. But if I can't get the face right, then I'm probably doomed, and I'll have to change to a complete different picture, like a picture of just flowers or something in the rainbow color. Or colors, it's not a color. I'm going to heighten this a little bit just to match what I did over on this other side before I forget. Because I will definitely forget. That's something that I don't do on both sides. This is what I'm talking about, that I'm changing the directions to try to get any striations, lines, whatever, out. I'll show a little bit more of the color at least. I think you're a little far off when I did it before. And I'm laughing because I can see my fingers. They're white around the edges because I'm holding this pencil. I'm holding the pencil farther back to keep it light, but I'm kind of gripping it really tight, which is weird. I don't know why I'm doing that. I hope when I get done she doesn't just look sick. Hoping she looks like she's intended to have a green-skinned witch. But we shall see. Who knows? There she goes spinning. So again, what I'm doing and why I keep spinning her is I'm trying to have my oval pencil strokes not appear to be going in the same direction, because what I am seeing, which you may not be able to see, or you might be able to, is I am seeing what appears to be lines on the paper. And you know, when you do skin, you're trying to go for something that's as smooth as possible. And because these are not easily blendable where I can easily get that smooth, I'm having to be extremely careful and try to do it with my brush strokes to make it not have those lines across it. So if I was just going up and down or from side to side, instead of in my circle, in my little ovals like I do for everything, I think you would see more lines across her face. Alright, so I have basically one coating, or one layer. Actually, in some places two, because I put the yellow down there. And the yellow is just to give the green some variances if I can get them to blend, because I'm going to need shading and everything around the face so much. I have to get creative, because again, I only have 6 colors at this point to work with. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do now for a few of my shadows, I think I'm going to use a little yellow on her neck. It's very, very green, and since I have kind of a lighter green, they really look different. So I'm going to use just a little bit of yellow. And then I'll go back in and do shading. Now the neck can be darker, and that's the shading that you're going to want, but I want it to have that yellow-green skin look to start with, and then we'll shade it in. It's funny, the set of Crayola pencils here that I have, which is their full set, and I'll have to go see how many that is because I don't remember off the top of my head. I would, as a kid, have loved them, and now I'm kind of like, oh, but it's, you know, you get spoiled whenever you have a little bit nicer materials, and the nicer materials do make you look a little bit more talented than you are. At least in my case, it does. Alright, so I still have a lot of skin to do, and I don't want to forget what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But I don't know if you can see right up here, but there's something going on with the paper, and this is picking it up. So I'm going to go in there. I'm going the opposite direction, again, trying to get some of those lines to disappear. go in, I think, with some blue and do a little bit of shading on the edges here. See if that's going to help. So, fingers crossed. Again, these probably aren't the pencils for me to be experimenting with this kind of blending. But I thought, you know, shadows might have a little bit of a blue tinge, and that'll help me darken down that green. And there definitely should be a shadow here underneath where the hat is. I've challenged myself before about like doing things that I only gave myself 4 colors or to do, but never one with the colors of the rainbow. And you know, between watching other people on ColorTube here, you know, I don't know, you get this sense that maybe you might be able to do it. I know Dee Dee Willingham is the one who really, watching her just gave me the freedom to try, whether I was following a tutorial of hers to kind of get the feel of what she was talking about, you know, really going outside of my typical comfort zone, or, you know, watching people over and over using certain materials and go, maybe I can use those materials, you know. All of those things were very, you know, it's neat, and part of it is through these challenges that, you know, to challenge yourself and to try a little bit different while having fun. And again, it's not a competition between us, it's kind of just a chance for you to try something you would have never tried. And I can tell you, what I'm doing right now, I would have never tried. Right now, I'm not liking it. It's such a definite, can't seem to blend it light enough. That shadow, but that's okay. I don't want to overwork it right now. I'm just putting in where I think there'll be shadows with this blue, which I'm liking. That's actually working pretty well, using the blue for kind of shadow indicators. So it's amazing how many books Jade Summer and them put out, and they've been talking about changing how they were going to put out books. One of the things if you've never had a Jade Summer, they, you know, will have it for 25, maybe 30 pictures in them, drawings, illustrations, and then they always repeat them. And so that's like one of their big questions, you know, should we just put in, instead of putting in, you know, that equals about 60 pictures if you think about it, totally, two that you can color. And so they're talking about changing the pricing, maybe going up to where you do have 60 different pictures. They just must have a huge army of illustrators that work for them. And you can tell because they're different styles, you know, and, you know, it's not always going to be the same artist or whatever. But they have all these little fun things, and then they have, you know, something that's a little bit more grown up or you know, darker or more realistic. all the way down to more beginner type books. But they put one out like every Friday or something like that. And typically when you buy them, and I don't know if they've changed because I haven't bought one in a while now, you get the PDF of that book. So, you really could print them out as much as you want. And then, like I said, if you're signed up with their email, you actually then get these notifications in your email every once in a while that there's a free PDF, whether it's of their newest book they're coming out with. They just ask that you share your coloring and stuff like on social media. So, and I've done a few. I've done a baby dragon. My gardening girl that kind of shows up in some, like on my Instagram, you'll see that's a Jade Summer. They're fun, and I could see, again, I'm thinking, if I was a kid and those had been available, oh, no pocket money whatsoever. Just like I think about a lot of the books they have now for, tweens or for the middle grades and, for like 4th, 5th, and 6th graders on up. If I ever got any type of pocket money, or listen to me, pocket money, I actually sound ancient, like allowance or extra money where I could spend it the way I wanted to, I never would have saved up for anything if all these things had been available, because I would have been out there buying every one of these coloring books that I could, just because I would have loved. And then the coloring supplies, of course. And then, of course, the books that they're now writing for that age group, I would have wanted those. So maybe I could have got those from the library. I could spend it on my coloring supplies. Oh, gosh knows now. I swear, I feel like when I go to work nowadays, because, being in the public school system, you do not make a lot of money. And as a speech language pathologist, I'm going to put everybody's crumbs. Any of you teachers out there, we are making exactly what you are based on our experience and our education level. We don't get paid anything extra special. So we're not up there raking in the dough. And we make a lot of our own supplies, materials. And yeah, so just, if anybody was worried out there that, this SLPs were getting really rich, we aren't. So sometimes I think that my job is just to support this hobby. I can't even say my hobbies, but this hobby, because it definitely doesn't support my gardening hobby. I need to call in the old hubster for that extra bit. So I'm liking how the blue is shading. That's making me feel better, because and then I've got kind of that overall. It's still pretty rough. I mean, I'm looking at it, it's definitely not as smooth. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the skin down here, because like I said, I kind of don't want to lose the rhythm of this, that's for sure. So I am going to pause this video for now, and I'm going to work on the bottom part in just a little bit. So, and like I said, I'm going to do all of the skin in here and kind of get that established. And I got to think what I'm going to do with her hat, because she's green. A lot of times you make the hat green, and I can't make it black. So something that I have to mention is I've been doing this for a while, as you've seen, and these colors are actually kind of working and blending and building. So, you know, little Miss Naysayer here, I've been really surprised. Now, it could be because of it is kind of an odd color. Sorry, I'm making sure. But, you know, I was even able to make kind of highlights, and now I'm just going in and kind of deepening, and then I'm going to go over it all with the green again. They're still not as smooth, but as I build them, I'm having hope that somehow I might be able to really smooth them out. But you know, I just mainly am like, wow, I really shouldn't have said what I said. Because if this, you know, and it's amazing. And you know, this is something that I say all the time. You know, when you decide to get new pencils, you really, you know, and it's one reason why I don't do a lot of reviews. So the only review that I've done on pencils is the Spear Fabens, and there's a reason. I mean, I really did. I worked with those for over a month solid, and I felt like I understood them. These Crayolas now, and this paper, which is inexpensive cardstock paper that I get from Walmart, for goodness sakes, you know, I mean, nothing fancy, just seems to be doing really well, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, it's still very early in this overall picture, and no, is it as smooth as I hoped, you know, or not hoped, I should say. I didn't even have a hope. I guess maybe you know, underestimating is kind of a good thing. Is it's smoother and working a lot better than I thought. Is it my Prismas? Is it, you know, any of the other pencils, Faber-Castell, or no? But it's actually kind of coming together. And this having to kind of use the blue for the shadow is working pretty well. This is not going to be an easy picture to do with just a 6, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident because now I need to start thinking, you know, what I can use for shadowing and mixing, and you know, I think that that's kind of a different way to look at this. So I'm trying to figure out how to do her hat, because I do want a lot of rainbows and everything, and you know, but that's the next really big part. So now you can see I'm just going to go over everything very lightly again, but kind of, in fact, I think I'm going to turn her and try to kind of color the other this way and go over everything and just try to get that even smoother, and but put it back to a green and not such a blue tone. Putting that yellow underneath was helpful, definitely. So I'm just going to go over her completely, and then I think we're going to be finished with her skin for now. I mean, I might continue. I want to see how dark and the other colors in the picture, what they look like. So yeah, I mean, this is in some places probably layer 5 or 6, and it is starting to do a bit of a blend. Wow. I don't know what color I'm going to do her eyes. Don't want to do blue or green, because we've got quite a lot of green here with the skin and the blue hitting there, so I'm not sure. But that's the other part that I like about coloring and doing stuff like this. What happens is, you know, when you're doing it slowly and you're going over it, it's giving me a lot of time to kind of think about the other colors, the things that I'm interested in, you know, thoughts, and then it just gives you time to become familiar and see all the little nuances. Like there's little bats over here, and again, I can't use black. And I was thinking if I need to really get dark, I guess maybe the blue and purple is going to be some of the darkest shadows I can get. But I've done night skies with nothing but basically blue and purple. I do go in sometimes with black to darken it down, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I kind of think of her as a fun witch. So she's going to be more about the rainbow and very colorful. So I'm just going to go over everything again, kind of intensify her, and then I'll bring you back when I move on to the next thing. But that was pretty good. I mean, really, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I was even able to make the collarbone come out. There was already one drawn pretty strong over here, but I was able with the yellow to highlight. I've highlighted her shoulder. I mean, there's still more blending I can do. But to even be able to make a bone kind of come out here and be able to use that for shadowing, I'm pretty darn happy with for now. So, like I said, I'm just going to go and color this for a little while on my own and really work the color. You don't need to see me going over and over again, largely using, again, just those 3 colors. There's not going to be any other, and the other ones. And then I got to decide what I'm going to do with her hair and the colors I'm going to put there as well. So